We're going to start with the word anxiety. You probably know this word, anxiety. It's been it's been in the news quite a bit over the last year. We've all been very worried about things during the pandemic, right? So I have to change my sound settings here so I can get the audio here.
To help area farmers grow crops, the international and local Ethiopian Red Cross are giving out seeds and soil nutrients to 16,000 families. But as fighting continues in parts of the region, anxiety is rising in communities.
Anxiety is a strong feeling of worry about a situation.
It can be normal in difficult situations, but anxiety becomes a problem when it interferes with daily activities.
As you know, many of the nouns we have in English have verb form associated with them. So the noun form was shown in the video, anxiety. Can anybody tell me uh, what the adjective form is? So I am feeling anxiety. That's one thing we can say. How about the adjective? Somebody is who knows that adjective form?
Anxiety, I think this is the way when you are feeling a certain kind of overwhelming, probably, or when you are having a serious problem. It's the sense that you have to face this situation, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that is the noun. Here's my chalkboard here. Anxiety is the noun form. Um, there's another word form that we often use.
Anxious.
Anxious.
Not mistaken, anxious.
Yep, Allah, you got that, and I think Jonathan had his hand up too. Yeah. So the other word form is anxious.
Anxious, yes.
Yeah. So you could say people have been anxious. In the United States, people have been anxious about getting vaccinated. Well, some people are worried. Will I be able to get a vaccine? Will the vaccine work? Will it be safe? And so on. So your question is, can you use one of these word forms for anxiety in a sentence? Can you apply it to your own life? João, you've got your hand up. Would you like to give us a sentence with anxiety or anxious?
I felt anxious, and this anxiety
Okay.
made me
So
feel like I couldn't run what I was doing.
okay. So you were in a neighborhood where you felt anxiety? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good example. All right. Sometimes if we're in a new neighborhood or different neighborhood.
For example, right now, I'm unemployed. That's why I feel anxious, and I have this sense of anxiety because I don't know if I'm gonna find a job sooner.
Okay. All right. So you used both words. You said, I feel anxious and I have anxiety. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Both very, very well placed in the sentences there. And next we have Allah.
I'm anxious about my exams. I'm a student at university, so I'm anxious.
Okay.
How it's going to be? Will I pass or not? So that's why I'm anxious.
Great. I'm good example. Okay, and next we have Alfredo.
Yes, there is a good way. Actually, perhaps it is the best way to fight the anxiety, and it is through the breathing techniques
Mm,
Mm, yep.
as a relaxation response. I've
right.
been reading a lot about articles about breathing, stress, relaxation response from the Harvard Medical School, and it is a good source to deal with the stress, with anxiety, with
Uh-huh.
depression, the relaxation response, and this relaxation response is based on the breathing techniques. If you breathe profound and smoothly, you could feel relaxed.
Mhm. You know, I knew that things were changing last year when I was watching a mainstream television program, the television news in the morning, and they stopped and they said, okay, we're going to have a moment of meditation because the news was making everybody so anxious. And
Correct.
they led people through like a 1 minute breathing exercise, and I thought, wow, things are
Times have
really
changed.
changing. So thank you for the
Yeah, can I say
suggestion.
something more?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I found in this article really useful applications for mobile that they can teach you how to breathe, how to deeply, smoothly, and believe me, it is a good way to fight with the anxiety.
I
Right.
think the correct word is mindfulness, something like that, right,
Yeah.
Alfred?
Mindfulness.
Well,
Yep.
there are both mindfulness and meditation. There is
Yeah.
Yes,
a little
a
difference
little bit
between them, but
difference.
Uh-huh. Yeah, mindfulness is a practice that often involves meditation, right? And breathing
Great.
exactly.
techniques. Thank you, Alfredo.
Ah, you're
Uh,
welcome.
so I see Katie is with us. Hi,
Hi,
Katie.
everybody. I'm
Hi,
so
Katie.
sorry. I'm so sorry that I was late. I'm still actually anxious about the internet service. We had a big storm last night, and so it's wonky. I don't know if you've ever heard the word wonky, but I'm not sure if it's a real word. Is it,
Oh,
Dr. Jill?
oh yeah.
Wonky?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it might be kind of onomatopoeia. I'm not
Yes.
sure. Sometimes when things break, they go wonk. So here's the word wonky. So it means it's not working correctly, right?
Mhm.
So we've watched the video about
Uh-huh.
anxiety, and we talked about the two word forms, anxious and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And we have two more people with their hands up.
Oh, good.
Tatran, what would you like to say about anxious or anxiety?
Yes, coronavirus pandemic has affect us a lot in our life. So my anxiety is the lack of vaccine to prevent coronavirus on over the world at the moment. That's
Mhm.
in my anxiety, and I think that most of people has the same anxiety as me. That's it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you have anxiety about the prevention of coronavirus. And
Yes, that's right.
all right, good example. And Valerie,
Yes. You know,
but
in
Uh,
Vietnam, the government uh, try to buy vaccine from other countries, but now we cannot have enough vaccine for children in Vietnam.
yeah.
I think we must wait for some months later.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I think our government is giving away a lot of vaccines. Hopefully they'll give some to Vietnam too
Yes, we
in the near
hope so.
future. Yeah, trip. Caty,
Yeah,
was that your kitten I heard?
that was not the new kitten. That was my big old fat cat
Uh-huh.
who who was anxious to get outside. That cat meows very loudly and persistently.
Yeah. Caty has a new kitten in her house that I've been seeing on our meetings.
And
He's adorable.
I can bring him out
Maybe a
soon.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
So
toward the end, I'll give you a peek.
next we have Ruth Bay. Want to use the words?
Hello again. I wanna. I am a ancient person now because I like to travel. I want to meet my family. I want to eat food in restaurant. I want to come back to my normal life before coronavirus, and so I think everybody get a lot of pressure and anxiety to leave. So I'm waiting for change the life, and so it's my problem. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. In some places, the people can do that. In fact, here where Caty and I live, we can go to restaurants again, and uh, we can get together with friends again, uh, because everybody has been vaccinated, at least in our circles. Um, but in some places, that's not possible yet.
Yeah.
And we cannot get a party, we cannot make a celebration, and so because in my country only I think less than 1% um, had vaccinated,
Mhm.
I think. So we are waiting for new life.
Right.
Mhm. Well, once you get most people vaccinated, you'll be
Yeah.
back in the restaurants and hosting parties, and it'll feel great
Uh,
Yeah.
as it
and
does.
I'm worried about it that maybe in next year or maybe in future we get a new virus,
Mhm.
and I don't know about future
Right,
because and it's now I think our life and our world is not stable now,
right. Yeah.
and we cannot guarantee
Hmm.
Right. Well, I think
what can I yeah,
hopefully we've learned some lessons in the past year that can be applied
yeah.
to the next round. Alfredo, did you have another comment?
Yes, I am wondering. I don't know if Kelly knows this. Do you know, Kelly, if anxiety is in the top 5 words that people has been saying the most during the pandemic?
Oh, that's interesting. I bet Dr. Jill knows that, but I think anxiety is, I don't know if it's the top five, but it's certainly up high. I would say at
Should
least the
be.
top 10.
Should
and
be.
and some words associated with it, like stress.
Right.
And I've
Yeah.
heard a lot
Right.
of people say pressure. Nervousness is another related term. Have you guys come up with any others? Any
Well,
other
actually,
words?
I think that our our next video will present a related term.
Yes, something that can cause it.
Um, so shall we go on to the next news word?
Let's do it.
And I
Yes,
gotta
please.
change my settings here.
Welcome to the Voice of America's
Everybody
News
seeing here
Breaks.
okay?
Yeah.
In the United States,
Yes.
company
Okay, good.
Colonial Pipeline was the recent victim of a cybercrime that caused a halt to fuel transport. Disruptive.
The Colonial Pipeline transports about 45% of the gasoline and jet fuel used on the East Coast. The group Darkside was blamed for the attack, said to be one of the most disruptive cybercrimes ever reported.
In this example, disruptive means a trouble that blocks a process or operation from continuing.
A car accident can be disruptive to the flow of traffic, for example.
Okay, no problem. So the word was disruptive. And Caty, what other word forms would you like to point out that we can use with that root? Oh, your mic's off.
Disruptive is an adjective, right, Dr. Jill?
Yep.
So the noun form is, there are two noun forms really. There's disruption, which is the act of being disrupted or having been disrupted. But there can also be, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Jill, a disruptor, which is, someone or something that disrupts. And
the
I
verb
think
form.
that's it. Huh?
And a verb form.
Disrupt.
Yes.
I almost forgot the most important. Disrupt. Disruptive, disruption, and disruptor.
Disruptive, yeah. So we've got 4 different possible word forms that you can use here. Oh, Jerome is down in the lobby there. Well, oh, you missed our introductions today, Caty. We actually have 4 new people today.
Wow, great. I'm so happy to hear that. They're disrupting the show in a good way.
We have a guest from Chile.
Ooh, a place I want to go.
Yeah.
Alfredo has his hand up.
Okay.
Yes, please. Can we say that the coronavirus was a disruptor in our lives?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Actually, we live a lot of disruptions during this pandemic, no? Because people couldn't go to schools, couldn't go to their work, etc., etc. No?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. It was a major disruptor.
Exactly.
Okay. Valerie?
For example, I have a doubt. I really like to get your perspective. For example, I think that disruptive could be used in a good sense. For example, I remember in marketing, for example, it's pretty common to use disruptive to describe something that is eye-catching, something that is impressive. For example, that display looks really disruptive to create purchase intention, something like that. Is it possible to say this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. It can be, it doesn't always have to be negative, but it's a change to the status quo. Do you guys know the term status quo?
Not so good, Catherine. If you can explain better, please. Or if you can write it down, please, just to be sure.
Yes, Dr. Jill will do that. Her writing is much better than mine. But status quo is, and Dr. Jill, you'll tell me if I ever say anything wrong, but status quo is a Latin term that I think just means the situation as it is, because we know what status means. So like, it's just normal, the situation as it is.
Yep.
So when you get it, when you get a disruptor, the status quo changes. Sometimes it can be a good change, right?
Excellent.
Yeah. So you can use it that way. And I know that in business, that term seems to be used more as a positive in business than a negative. being a disruptor means you're getting in, you're getting noticed in
Yes.
business, right?
Thank you
If
so much. Thank you.
Sure,
if
thank
you're
you.
comparing your business to other businesses or your field, but if you're talking about within a business, being a disruptor is not good
Yes.
sometimes.
Or talking about a class of students. I mean, that's a common term used by teachers.
Yeah.
And they would talk to me about my children.
Yeah.
Your children are disruptive. They
Yeah.
talk too much in class.
Okay.
Would you like to make a sentence? So you turned your mic on.
Descriptive mean that to disturb someone in a situation. It is right.
Yes. To
Mm-hmm.
disrupt.
Yes, yes. For example, naughty children often descriptive with their children, with their parents.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So naughty children, or we could say they're disruptive.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
as Katie was saying.
You are very, very descriptive.
Uh,
You are very naughty, and you are very descriptive. Descriptive,
Disruptive.
disruptive.
descriptive,
Uh,
Yeah.
descriptive. Yes,
Yeah. Right.
a
descriptive.
hard one to say. It sounds a little like descriptive
Uh-huh.
sometimes, but it's
Yeah.
disruptive.
Disruptive.
Yes,
Disrupt.
disruptive. Yes, sometimes
Okay.
descriptive.
Perfect. Yeah.
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 Okay. All right. Let's have some more examples. Maybe a an example in a positive sense of being
Right.
disruptive. Let's see.
Or an example, or we could
Keith?
also, if you're interested, think of a word that's like disruptive and make a sentence with that.
Uh,
Either way.
Key has her hand up.
In Vietnam, people like doing karaoke so much. So when they do karaoke, it will be a disruptive factor for everyone, for the neighbor surrounding them. It's
Oh.
so noisy, yeah, because we are so friendly and we live in an open space. But sometimes it's really disruptive factor for everyone.
Right.
So people are doing karaoke outside
Yeah,
in the open.
in the house of in their
Mhm.
family,
Oh,
Okay.
but
yeah.
you like open space. We don't have a system that can prevent the sound from inside to outside. So it's so
Right.
So it makes for a very loud party, right? When you have karaoke.
yeah,
And the neighbors think it's disruptive.
Yes.
yeah. Sometimes
Uh,
in the night, in the evening, they do
yeah.
karaoke.
Oh, and teach us how to pronounce your name properly.
My name,
Yes, how do you pronounce your
uh,
name?
T.
Key?
T.
No, T. I think there is the sound. There is not this sound in English or French.
Okay.
You can pronounce X, she.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
she.
yeah,
She.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Say
All right.
cheese.
She.
Say cheese. T.
All right, thank you. Thank you, she. And
I think,
next we
does
have
cheat mean wisdom? I thought it meant wise or wisdom. I thought that a friend of mine, her middle name is Chi. She's half Korean, and her middle name is Chi. And she said, now she might have just been saying this to impress us, but she said that her name meant wisdom.
With
Okay.
maybe the meaning in every language is different. In
Uh-huh.
Vietnamese, my name is a branch, like a branch of tree with
Uh-huh.
order.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. And Jonathan.
I think that innovation is a positive disrupt
Mm-hmm.
in technology, for example, that we are seeing us all through the Microsoft Teams. It's some positive disruption.
Right.
Perfect. That's a perfect example.
Caty, Jonathan is in Chile.
Oh, how wonderful. Where are you in Chile?
Viña del Mar.
I don't know that place. I can't.
It's in the sea near Valparaiso.
Oh, okay. Well, I would love to
Port.
visit your country sometime. Oh.
Central zone of the country.
I see. Nice.
In the central part. Now, the south of your country is Patagonia, right?
Yeah, that's the south. Very cold.
Yeah.
A friend of
And you
mine went
temperate.
hiking there a couple years ago. A beautiful place.
Right.
Dr. Jill's been everywhere, if you ask me.
I haven't actually been to South America though. I'd love to go. All right. Okay. Any other disrupt examples? Imad, we haven't heard from you today. Would you like to use the word disrupt or disruption in a sentence?
Okay, Dr. Jim. I'd like to do that, but I try to understand what are you talking about because I joined. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you didn't get to see the video. Right. So it means to disrupt means to disturb or to make a change in the way things are.
And to stop, usually to stop or slow a process that's in operation. So when the oil pipeline company was attacked by cyber criminals, it disrupted oil transports. You could also say interfered with.
Yeah.
Blocked. Blocked is a good word, but disruption's a little different because it might not be a complete stoppage or stop. It might be partial. So disruptive's good. And then there's interrupt. Do you know what interrupt means, Imad?
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Similar to that.
Yeah. So as a result of the cyber attack on the pipeline company, many people could not get gasoline. And so there were long lines at the gasoline stations. And so it disrupted people's lives for about a week. I think there was problems with people getting gas. They said about 30% of the gasoline stations in Washington, D.C. area where we live were closed.
Mm-hmm.
And that made it more difficult for people to buy gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Elaine has a hand up.
Yes, maybe I will use this word in a different context that we are talking right now. But I think, for example, changing climate could disrupt the agriculture sometimes when the people are waiting for a weather and this weather change and they can't harvest the plantation.
Absolutely. It's a very good example.
Yeah, so
and could disrupt for a long time. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. The climate change disrupts agriculture.
Yes.
Good. And Rosalinda.
Yes, I'm thinking, for example, now that we are working at home, it's pretty common to find many disruptors on the street. For example, in Mexico, it's pretty common to find people selling food on the streets, and it's like they produce many sounds that it's impossible sometimes to have a meeting in calm. It's because you are hearing many sounds and many noise. It's a little bit annoying. But in this case, is it correct if I say there are many disruptors these days for example, because of the pandemic, or because in this way that we are working at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. It would probably be more likely that you would say, you know, the pandemic, well, yeah, that the pandemic is so disruptive to work situations because everybody's, you know, out and about and not, you know, or inside. Yeah, so you could.
Okay.
Yeah. So Rosalinda, the other another application I think in that sense is the parents who have to work at home with their children. So their children are supposed to be studying, right? And
Right.
then the parents are supposed to be working, but often nobody gets the studying or work done, right?
I agree with you.
We're all disruptors.
Yes, I agree. That's a better example.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, of course.
A lot of disruption there.
Yeah.
Alfredo, what's your comment?
Yes, because the anxiety I was living during the pandemic, I have to disrupt many things. The way I was feeling, the way I was doing the things. So I started to take it easier. No?
Mm-hmm. Good for you. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So Alfredo has used both of our words in one sentence there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the anxiety, you had to disrupt many things that you were doing, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
All
And
right.
now you need something to disrupt your anxiety.
Mhm.
Exactly.
The vaccine is disrupting our anxiety.
No,
Yes,
but
Slowly.
I was saying, Kelly, that breathing techniques are really good to fight your anxiety, your stress.
Yes, they are. So is exercise.
Exactly. Or going
And
to
for
the
me,
forest every day.
eating chocolate is a
Ah,
big
yeah.
way to disrupt my anxiety
Okay.
That's the
and
best
my
way.
weight.
Uh, let's see. Tat, do you have another comment?
Yes. Now we stop talking about human virus. We talk about computer virus.
Yeah, that's
You know,
disruptive.
because of cyber virus, so sometimes our business are disrupted uh, by virus because our computer stop working.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
We
even
can do
today,
we
when it's just the internet, you know, being
yes.
spotty.
Yeah,
Well,
sometimes hacker attack our computer system, so we cannot do with our computer
That's
for
right.
a week or some days. Yes,
yeah.
that's it.
All right. Thank you for that example. We have two kinds of viruses that are disruptive. Very good. All right. So that is the end of our planned content for today. I'd like everybody to thank Caty for coming on
Oh,
board here.
thank you all for being patient through your anxious
Thank you,
moments when
Katie.
you were waiting for me to disrupt the program.